Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Galen, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. And welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. Today, we have a light language DNA code activator with us, and also a multidimensional ascension wayshower guide. Keleena Malnar is here, and we are talking about light language, and it is the language of New Earth. New Earth is here. Let's welcome Keleena Malnar. Thank you for being here. Welcome back, Keleena.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you so much for having me back again.
This is wonderful to see you because the activations that you offer are such of a high frequency that you bring through all of the aspects of you, your eyes and the energy that moves through your body. So this is beautiful. We're going to talk about the importance of light language. What I have noticed really recently is a huge surge or an uptick in people learning to speak it, spontaneously speaking it. Not only that, but toning. That's a little different, but a way to express some of the energies coming through. So, what is going on here? It is amazing. Even people are writing it. Can you explain what's going on?
Oh, there's so much going on. With the light language, everyone can be activated just from hearing somebody a few times. And through your process of clearing and doing your inner work and letting enough go, clearing the old stuff so that you can start allowing the new and becoming who you truly are, the light language comes forth and you're able to start speaking it. It's This is part of the process that's so, they're saying, highly dimensional, and increases your frequency when you do it, that it's so important for people to engage in it. So there's been people that fear it because they're not sure what it is. But when they listen to it and listen to it from the heart, it's going to start activating parts of their process. So everybody all of a sudden in abundance that's coming forth and starting to speak it. Even the children are speaking it. There's a lot of children that are speaking it. I've heard a few. It's so important because this is the part of the new earth realms. It's bringing in that which we already know and that which we already have communicated through in many other lifetimes. So it's like a remembering. It's like a cell memories coming forth. So when I conduct activations, and I've done thousands of activations, and I didn't realize until just recently that thousands of people have been activated through my videos and stuff on YouTube that are free. And it's just amazing because once it does that, it keeps trickling and trickling and trickling, and other people start speaking and have YouTube videos or whatever they're doing, and it keeps going. And that's what we need to do, because when you utilize this, it also activates the crystalline process in you as well, which is awesome.
Okay, it's activating the crystalline process, the crystalline aspects that we are becoming. That's really interesting because when we listen to light language, we can certainly feel it if we're sensitive to it. And so that's amazing. Let's talk a little bit more about the letting go of the old paradigm. It really is interesting. So with light language that people are speaking, not everyone can do it, but it's not always so easy for everyone. And this is because of what you referenced of the need to let go and the fear around it because they don't know what it is. In some instances, and I would say even in my instance as well, there's this, it's you really have to get the mind out of the way, right? You really have to get the mind out of the way. So what is that process like for you? Because to let it flow, the mind will think, oh, you're just making it up. But if you're really putting the mind aside, what is that process like for you to truly let it flow?
What is the process like for me? Um, I don't really have a process. I just allow. That's what I'm gonna say, because being always awake since a little girl, and going to more awakenings throughout my life, like deeper, I've always allowed things to just come through, if that makes sense. So I've always been able to do that and work with energy and hear my guides talking to me. So it's going to be different for me than it is for others. So the mentality, the mental part of me had to basically, you had to dissolve a lot of the, what I call the created or false identity ego, to allow yourself to be centered, to just allow the things and trust spirit, trust what you know, and trust everything to just mother and father, God, source to flow through you. So for me, I'm actually at that place where all I have to do is say I am, and I'm right there. And everything just flows, if that makes sense. Because I've gone through enough and through part of the process and let go so much and moved, and like the God seed, the God particle or the God seed in me is grown so much that I can just connect like that and allow. And I know the correct vibrations because I've known energy my whole life as well. So for some people that they don't really connect with energy yet, or they can't feel things yet because they're blocking stuff with that uh, solar plexus, and also the mentality part, really being in the mental mind. They're not going to allow themselves to allow things to flow and to receive it as well. There's a lot of people that won't even receive it. They just like back off and like, I don't know what that is. That sounds alien. So
Yes.
yeah, it's simple. I don't even know how to describe it, except I just call my I am presence board, and I'm centered like that.
And let's everyone take a moment and do that. So lead us again. Yeah, I mean, we can just watch you do that and be so still to feel it, and just seeing how you do it. That really is what it is.
Yes.
So let's let everyone take a moment and do that.
So I'll just lead you through. If everyone can just take a deep breath in through the nose and expand the lungs and belly as far as you can. And then allow that breath to fall out of the mouth. And do that 2 more times just to relax. And just say, I now call forth my I am presence. And you may be able to feel the energy just coming right into you and coming forth. And when it comes through the whole body, but it really expands through the heart and comes out the heart. It just expands when you're in that space.
Yes. Okay. I got it. I heard something. I'm not going to share it because I'm too shy. And I
What?
don't want to be embarrassed. I still have a block. See, this is this. So what happens here? This is very interesting. Is it reveals the block, and my block is, I know what that is. Okay, interesting. This show is not about me though. This is for all of us to experience this. But I find it interesting because there may be others that are like the same way as me, and but yet I think we can all see what is holding us back. And this comes down in a way to self-love. When we do allow ourselves to flow and bring it in, the remembrance, I've had moments of remembrance where it has moved me to tears, and it has helped me to see where my ego, my mind has blocked and shut down and judged myself, judged. You'd think it would be others saying you can't sing or something, but no, it's my own judgment. Isn't that interesting? That's exactly what you're talking about.
Absolutely. And that is one of the biggest things is I find that a lot of my clients, they don't trust, first of all. And so if you're not trusting, you're judging. And that judgment goes to fear. So what are you fearing? And that's how I take my clients in the quantum energy healing things. We go all the way back to the root to find out basically what are you fearing that's not allowing you to speak this. So it goes all the way back to childhood every time. So yeah, judgment. And when you're starting to speak it, if you start judging what's going to try and come out or what you're hearing, because a lot of people can hear it first and then they hold their mouth shut. They're like, they won't say it. They won't let it flow. They're judging what they're hearing because they don't think it sounds like mine or someone else's. But in actuality, everybody's from a different point of origin. So your light language can sound different from mine. So, I mean, I can activate all light languages in everyone. I have that ability to be able to do that. But when you're sitting on the opposites and listening to me, and you're thinking, oh, that sounds really beautiful, or the tones sound really beautiful, or whatever, and then you hear what yours sounds like, and you're like, no, I'm not going to say that because it's probably wrong. There you go. There's another thing again, wrong. They get the word wrong, and that's judgment again, and that goes back to fear, back to childhood. So the programming, subconscious programming. And that's
Yes.
having those stuff that people have got to clear up with the inner work.
Yes. All right. Well, that tells us if we're not speaking light language, what we have to get rid of. And so that's beautiful. Now, so you activate, there's all kinds of different light language. We'll talk more about that. Um, the importance of light language. Some would even question, why light language? But this is important. There's so much information in it. Is that right?
Oh, there's so much codes coming in. And this is why it's important for the new earth, because it's all code. And like when I do some later, the codes that come in, like when I do the beeps and the pings and a little like all those kind of things, there's actually it's like so much information coming in at once that I can't actually say the light language word. It comes in like that because it's so much stored information. But when it goes into you, when you allow it to come into you, and it goes through the DNA at that cellular level, it's going to activate the suppressed and dormant codes in you that are coming through. So that the codes that are coming in are to help open that up, activate it, and bring that stuff up that has to be transformed. Light and sound carry information through the body. So when you're open to hearing it and allowing yourself to truly hear it and feel it, it's going to transform you. It raises your frequency. It helps you keep going with that continual crystalline process. It does so much. And that's another thing why one of the things I keep telling people to do is if you can get into water outside in nature, the water is holding the codes. Even if you get in the water, it's so important because you can absorb it through the body as well.
Thank you. All right. Well, I know so many are water babies. We love the water, and so many are working with the waters of the planet and the aquifers and the oceans. All right. That's really, really beautiful. All right. So light and sound, they're going to really, this light language is going to help get rid of the suppressed and dormant, well, actually activate the suppressed and dormant codes. This is in part of our DNA and the higher self. How does the higher self work with these codes? Have you noticed a connection there? I mean, like you said, this I am presence is what opens the doorway. Do you want to share anything about that connection?
So the higher self or the soul, it receives what's coming in and it knows exactly what it is and it knows how to receive it and it knows what to do with it. And it knows how to allow the activations to run through the body. The higher self does. It's the physical human that they can actually block it. So to allow it to activate, anything that's suppressed or dormant, it's so important so that you can move forward in your process. I wanted to give you some examples, but like everything just comes through me and I forget everything. Some of my followers know that. But it's just so important just to allow, to surrender and let the higher self, let your soul receive in the moment with light language. Because it's always coming from a space of love when the person that's bringing it through, like being a DNA key code activator, I had to go through such a process my whole life to have pure heart, to be able to work with all souls on the planet. And this is what Divine Mother Mary has taught me, and Yeshua. And they said, you can't do this if your heart's not pure. And so a lot of people are not in pure heart yet either. So if they're not, it's again, it goes back to the fear, back to the judgment, all those other things. When you clear those things within yourself, your heart becomes pure, and then you can receive this stuff much easier, allow the flow, and also speak it. I mean, just like that, you'll be able to just speak it. It'll just, something will come in. You can go out for a walk outside in the sun, and I'll start getting the codes. I'll start speaking the codes, singing the codes. I'll look at a bird, I'll start speaking to the bird in light language, and they answer me. So,
Yeah, that's really very, very interesting. You have conversations in light language with birds
all
and all animals, and like horses or dolphins. I mean, all animals. And they do hear it. Yes.
like the fairies are huge with it. I was singing in Scotland to the fairies in 2018, and the girl that was with me, she caught the fairy on video right in front of me. And as I would hit the note, I was doing the tones, and as I hit the heart note, the fairy would light up red every time, and it would just flying right in front of me. But they're here outside my house now. It's on my Facebook and everything, the videos of the fairies. So you sing to them and they just light up, and it's amazing. You can see the pastel colors in the fairies as well. So they've got like those plasma codes going in them, just like we do right now.
I think I see fairies around you as well. Let's see if any of our other viewers notice anything about that. Well, I think we should get right down to some DNA key code activations and really let you feel into our audience. This is such a beautiful gift. And so when we receive it, um, we are really receiving what you're bringing through in your heart, right? And do we do anything with intentions, or we simply surrender?
You will just need to surrender. I always tell everybody, just take those deep breaths and relax and allow yourself to surrender. Open your heart, okay? It's going to transfer from my high heart to your high heart, all right? And you'll receive it that way. That's why I always say open your heart. But if somebody can't get their heart open, I will be doing that light language to open that first. That's what I always do. So, and there will be different codes coming through in different languages. And I'm going to be gone because I pretty much kind of step back. So I'm going to go ahead and start. All you have to do is take a deep breath. You can have your eyes open or close your eyes, whatever you want to do, whatever's more comfortable for you, because I'm also going to be utilizing my hands for this as well, because my higher self just takes over. Open hearts. Karanta krosokultura kashatta karanta sisi na akotte kenti ala moria sakara karanta krosokultura skara karanta kiana karasanta karanta kroto na ka ikia kultura nikiri nikitiri kinyo no kuaka kiara sekiri na kakuru Oh, ukate ishanama. Sasakati ni kara sakutura santoshuri. Sendikirana karatona karatura kate. Ikia. Hanturse shiasa. Suko tuku 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 tuku. Al quasai itinema ushuname. Ha ukukuru shasa na mama no mohu. Ahiana he ikasutu. Shiana hako shesikenta. Shakina ma'au. Shasha sagrakato si niya. Uku uta eku ate eku ate. Ataka ataka utuko tukurupukutu ushushukuruputu onukurunta santakaranta karente mintia. Humanyanya yo ya ha ya ha no no ya yo Ashura kese kikara sarta nakatora santanya. Ahanane ukushasa. Mama no. Sa su te I sasa paka'a peki hatu shuntama sahutu taki hatu kotora etata tukosu ushu utu a mama o ana aya o o ka apa ta akata 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 ka tuko ataka atikiti ta tuku ata ti shishiki taka tuku taka brunta. Sikiata sototia shonyeme martinu uputa kaya. Okay. I'm really high and I'm really hot, so.
We're really high right there with you. That's very, very interesting and just so exquisite. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just amazing. Amazing to see you in action and to really feel the heart space that you were in and the connection to your higher self. This is really important for our whole ascension process. When we feel that and we feel that activation, something's happening. So everyone is activated. We hear from people that they get activated by you on this show the last time, and people have been speaking it, and other people who speak it. So this is something that we can do daily. So once we learn how to speak it, once we unleash that and allow it to flow through ourselves, why is it so valuable for us just to bring forth? Why is it so important?
There's a lot of different reasons. For one, it's self-healing. So you can utilize it anytime. So if you're starting to feel like you're being pulled out of your center, you can just start, bring yourself in with light language. It's that simple. Also to utilize it to continue um, the acceleration of the the crystalline process within you as we're becoming these crystalline beings, as we call us our starlight beings. Um, and it also changes the frequency around you and in the place where you dwell. So it raises the vibration. It's very important when you do it. It raises the vibration of everything around you. You can connect with everything that is a living soul. I mean, everything understands light language. The plants, the animals, these two in here, though, they're not looking too hot. Um, Everything, the other, I want to say the other realms, and also to call in your star families. So I will tell you really quick what happened one night. I was outside speaking light language at night and looking at the moon, taking a picture of the moon. And I have this blue laser that comes out of my forehead, and I just beamed it out and expanded it when I was speaking the light language. And when I did that, about 40 ships lit up in the sky and like beamed back at me. And I was just like, whoa. And I just continued the light language. I'm like, do that again. And I was doing the light language, and this activates. And when I did, they lit up again. They flashed at me twice again. And I was like, okay, this is a new way to use it. So it's like your star family is actually answering you because they can see you, they can hear you. And if it's pure, they're going to be like, we're right here. There's so many things you can utilize it for. You can utilize it for healing for others, people that are healers. If it comes through you during healing sessions, allow it to come through, because there's a lot of healing codes that come in it. And again, like I said, the light and sound carry the information through the body. So it's going to help either adjust or help somebody with some sort of healing that they need in their process. There's so much you can utilize it for. It's the codes. This is the code language for the new earth. So if you're around people that are of a different, what do you want to say, frequency, and you don't want them to know what you're saying, you can actually speak in your light language code. It's going to be happening. And people are going to understand it more, because a lot of people don't really understand it just yet. And I'll be honest with you, when it comes through me, it comes through this so much information comes through and flows that I cannot I don't know what it all is when it's coming through. When I'm working with a client, sometimes I will know, but if it's not necessary for me to know because it's only for them, source or my spirit will not tell me what exactly it was for them, because then I'll be holding it in my field and I don't need it. So there's so many reasons to speak it and just allow it and receive it.
Just allow it and just receive it, and don't put the mind around it or try to wrap around it. Okay, I'm going to share some comments coming in. It's very interesting that healers bring this through because it's so very healing. That's very, very interesting. And that more will be revealed to us from light language. I know that science will catch up to it. We have a gal in our QCTV after party membership. We've got someone who speaks light language, just started, and she always moves us to tears. She is a nurse, and she watches when she sings or speaks light language to patients, and the machines that they're hooked up to actually respond. So that right there is amazing. Isn't that?
That's absolutely fantastic. I love that she has the scientific evidence.
Scientific evidence, yes. So more is going to be revealed. So there's some who questions coming in. How do we translate it? How can we translate it? How would you recommend people translate it? Like you said, you may not need to know that for your clients. So should we even worry about that translation, or just go into the heart?
You can receive it in the heart, and but don't try to mentally translate it, because it's not going to happen. Your soul will know. Also, I did some webinars with another person who went and studied Sanskrit and studied up in the Himalayas, and found out the languages that I'm speaking are connected to the ancient languages. And then he started putting a book together. So, I mean, people can actually access that to try and see what they're saying when they're saying it. But to sit and try and mentally figure out, you're just going to take yourself down that road of overanalyzing and going to the mental mind. And you don't want to do that. This is all part of the higher self. This is part, it's the soul language. It's the language of love. That's what I was told when I first started speaking it. They're like, this is the language of love. This is the language of God. And so to sit and try and figure it out is you're just going to put yourself in like mental jail. So just receive it, because what's going to happen is it's going to change you. When you start feeling the changes that are occurring and the stuff that happens, you're going to know after that what it was that you needed to receive. Eventually people will understand it, eventually, but not right away. There's some children though out there that there are some kids out there that are probably between the ages of 7, 9, maybe 10. They actually already understand what people speaking light language say. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's really very amazing. And if you think about the 8-year-olds, they were born 2012, beyond 8 and younger. So there we are with that very special frequency of the new beings coming in this 21st century. Wow. Um, do you want to add anything about the new children and the new beings coming in?
Oh gosh. But it's like there's a wave every so many years and they just keep coming in. But these children, what I've been seeing since January is the golden children, but they've already been coming because I have a friend who has, theirs is a year old. And when she takes pictures of him, I pointed out, I said, do you see his halo? And she's like, she didn't, she didn't see it. I said, I pointed out the halo on top of his head in a picture she took. He's got this gold energy right above his head. So these golden children are already here. This year, there's an abundance of them coming in because of what's going on in the world and everybody getting taken inside. So there was a whole lot of love going on. And so what I saw in visions is a lot of golden children being born around the solstice, but also the golden child within ourselves is being born. That's the golden race DNA codes and everything, and the avatar, all that stuff. The webinars that I have done, it's all coming. I'm seeing this in December, this huge expansion of these children coming in, and they do not resonate with authority. That's what I'm going to say. They are so highly developed and connected to their inner being that they know what's right for them, and they're going to be like, no, they know what's love and what's not love. So they're automatically they're going to be teaching the parents and holding that higher frequency for these next generations and holding this vibration and frequency for Earth and all the change that's going on. These kids are doing this right now. Even my two kids they're 18 and 20, but they're such high frequency. They laugh so much. And it's just like when you hear their laughter, it's just like the energy just goes woo, and the frequency in the room just changes like that. If it's if they walk in a room and people are not so friendly or not so nice, and my kids walk in and start laughing and just being who they are because I've always allowed them to do that, the frequency and energy of the room changes in an instant. And so all these babies coming in, this is all just going to keep continuing, whether they're crystal babies, indigos, golden children. There's diamond children as well, I've been told. So it's a beautiful, beautiful process.
A beautiful process. All right, thank you. That reminds me that is sounds of new earth, not only light language, but the laughter of children and the laughter of people actually, and birds and things like that. So that's beautiful. Um, all right, so we are really becoming special here. We are really coming into really who we are and bringing that forward. You've talked about, I want to talk about some of the webinars that you've done because you've brought through some very cool information. And let's talk about the divine avatar body. When you talk about divine avatar body, light language helps us get there. Can you explain a little bit more on what that means, the divine avatar body?
that's Divine Avatar Body. That was a webinar that I did with William, my partner, and it was activations. It was all different kinds of keycode activations for the Divine Avatar Body, which is the light body at like an accelerated level of with the golden race DNA codes activated. So I received a download in the beginning of May, like May 3rd or something, or May 4th, and they said these are the avatar body light codes for you to activate souls and activate these codes in the soul so that it can remove anything that's blocking that from happening for them. So the divine avatar body is like your I'm going to say your it's not just your light body, but it's like your God body, your God goddess body. It's the body where you can do anything is what I feel, and in the abilities that you have, connecting with your abilities and transforming that which completely does not resonate with you physically, mentally, or emotionally anymore. You go through this quickening process with that webinar to move into this body, and so there's people that have been working on the process for a while that did that webinar that day, and I got emails from so many people overnight saying I was eliminating all night. You know, they were in the bathrooms all night, just purging and purging. And I warned everybody before, I'm like, try to go on water for 3 days first, because it's really going to get into those cells and to allow the light to expand, because your avatar body is the body that I see and I feel, where it's almost like you're invincible. You can do anything. It's like your Christ body, you're Christed. And it's the return to, it's definitely that return to the golden race. It's the return of those codes within you, activating and allowing you to become who you are, where you're just always living in your heart and in love and that higher consciousness. That's what I received in the download.
That's really great. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. So it's beautiful what we're becoming. And we were chatting about this great shift underway that's going on. And so can you share a little bit more about the importance of really being immaculate with our frequency and our vibration and our attention, moving through this great shift as the collective around us dismantles? So much is dismantling, right? I mean, wow, we're seeing it and it's beautiful. And I think the younger kids are actually influencing the rest of us. But what are some tips for us to really just keep our eye on the prize, and that is New Earth?
Absolutely. Well, the first thing is just, stay centered. I always say stay centered in your, bring your I am self in, and know that all the illusion that's happening out there, you don't have to play a role in that. Be on the earth as much as you can. Every morning I go outside and I say, good morning, Gaia. And I connect to her. I just say, please connect me to your earth crystalline grid. And immediately I feel it feels like electricity for me going right up into my body. And that vibration is just massively just exhilarating. And then I call in from above the stargates, and like stargates light up, and I feel it come down over me. And there's another thing that I started doing that I was just gifted is activating people's star domes. So that's something totally different I'm going to be doing. But for me, I'm actually able to activate that for me as well. And then I'm just in that high vibration. And that's where we need to stay. So if you can do things like being on earth, being away from the noise, turning off the noise. I don't have a TV. I don't have any connection to that. So for me, it's a lot easier. But also singing the light language, if you do speak it or sing it, sing it. It's going to keep you centered at all times. Meditate. It's so important. I can't even I can't even stress how important meditation is, or doing yoga or something that you love, that what it does is it allows you to escape from the world around you. And the only thing that you're really focused on is that thing that you're doing that you love the most. And that's what children do. If you watch children and they're doing something that they absolutely love to do, and you can be talking to the child and calling their name, and you don't exist to them, that's where you need to be. So paint, even exercising, but it's kind of hard for people right now to exercise with the stuff that's going on because a lot of people are really tired right now and exhausted with the cellular regeneration happening. But do what you love and love what you do. And really stay centered. That's my main thing, staying centered, staying in the heart. Um, we hold our frequency here, and this is our connection to our God self and to source. So that's what I always advise. Bring your I am presence in.
Yeah, that's the name of the game, isn't it? That really is. That's the connection. And as we move through these times, that's where sovereignty comes, and not judging others as well, letting people be. That really is a level of mastery and where we're all moving into. Um, Cellular regeneration, is that related to the crystalline changes? Can you talk more about what that is?
I just channeled that and posted that last night. Um, if you want, it's just a really short thing. I can just read it really quick if that would be easier, because then you'll be able to hear things that you'll understand. I guess I think yes, because there's key codes in there they're saying. So is that okay?
Yeah, that would be so cool. Thank you.
So it says, I'm just going to read it right off my phone. Currently, cellular regeneration is taking place in the human structure. This is a process that involves time in the third dimensional body. However, the changes now occurring upon your planet, the structure is no longer preparing itself for this lower third dimensional frequency anymore. You will feel sudden onsets of tiredness or exhaustion, as there is a new body that is creating through the spectrums of light and the DNA activations that everyone is receiving through several different outsources. The human genome is receiving this anticipated regeneration of the new light body that is formatting in a process that will obtain the higher frequency of light levels to create a new spectrum patterning within each individual. This will result in the transformation and unification of oneness in all persons that are ready to fulfill this part of their transition. Sensitivity is becoming quite revealing for many. Sounds, places, persons, foods are no longer represented in the requirements that one once needed as a 3D human being. Do your best, as I'm just saying, do your best to avoid all that makes you feel ill. Please drink plenty of water, clean, blessed water, as the regeneration process will make you dehydrated. And see that which one reveals to thyself as the one is all that we are. That just came through last night and I posted it. So um, cellular regeneration, this is like the next level because what they're saying is the human body, we're no longer needing that connection of the human body to the third dimensional reality. So with this cellular regeneration is of the light body and the higher realms. So it's activating our connection to the higher realms. It's anticipated, they're saying. It's foregoing, and it's our movement forward. It's our part of our acceleration process. And there's no going back, they just said. So if you're waking up in the morning and you're just so tired, like for me, I'm waking up in the morning and I'm like, I can't get out of bed. I'm just exhausted and I've had plenty of sleep. Or during the day, so I know a lot of people are going down for 3-hour naps in the middle of the day. This is the cellular regeneration happening. And a lot of people are going to need to eat certain foods to feed the cells right now. And then there's going to be some people that won't need to eat anything. So it's going to be different for everyone. But it's the regeneration, it's the change that's taking place is what they're coming through right now. It's the change taking place in the physical structure to manifest the light body at a higher, we're saying dimensional frequency. It's the connection to the higher realms.
Oh, that's truly embodiment, even more and more. All right. And so when we tune into the body for certain foods that we need to eat, again, it's this connection to the I am presence and listening. But it's listening no matter what you hear, because sometimes you might get something that tells you to eat something that your mind is like, what? You can't eat that.
Yeah, there's actually been some people that said, I've been craving meat and I've eaten meat in years. And I said, well, follow what your body's wanting. Just make sure that it's antibiotic free and chicken and
Humane treatment, good treatment. Yes.
but for me, I've been eating, this might sound funny, but I take dates and I stuff a pecan inside the date, and that's what I've been craving. So and I don't really eat a lot, but the pecan pad holds the protein because the cells are needing protein right now for this regeneration. So some people are wanting meat, some people are wanting like dairy, and they haven't had dairy in years. And it's just see what your body can handle. Listen to the body. If it wants it, try it.
Yes.
But
Yeah, listen, I woke up the other day and I heard spirulina time. And that actually helps the body with all the oxygen and all that stuff. So, okay. All right. Well, again, this is where we listen deeply within ourselves and connect deeply. Yeah. Let me see if we've got some questions here. I love it that people are reporting that they're speaking light language. Here's a question. This is from Shannon. Is it normal to feel deep sadness while being activated to light language? I can feel the movement and energy, light speed in my body. However, there's a deep purging and sadness happening.
okay, some of the codes that come in, because when I do this, some of the stuff that comes in is for healing as well. So if there's parts of you that haven't been healed or things that you're still holding on to, it's going to activate in that cellular structure, and it's going to bring up, like I said before, it's going to bring up the stuff that needs to transform, the stuff that needs to be purged because you haven't fully completed. Well, I'm going to say I don't really know anyone who's completed their process yet. You haven't fully done the inner work completely or to a certain level where when you hear the light language, it's going to activate it immediately, and you're going to literally purge. Um, I've done this in my events where people like go running out of the room. That's how quick it works, because the stuff that comes through is so powerful. So it's okay to feel that. Just know that that's a piece of you that's coming up to be transformed. So when you feel that, take that into your heart. Just pull that energy up and take it into your heart and say, I forgive myself. I forgive all. And that energy, it'll expand the heart, but it will also, because when you forgive yourself, we forgive all others because we are all others. So, and it forgives at all levels, all universes, everything, and everyone that you've ever been. And so it'll help you to transform that energy.
Yes, beautiful. All right. Enjoy that journey too. Here comes a message from Noelle. Noelle says, last night, just last night, I sat up in bed and did a little light language, also using my hands. So wonderful that I tuned in today. Isn't that cool? Sitting up in the middle of the night, speaking light language.
You will start speaking at any time. I did it in the middle of the night. I'll all of a sudden be up at 3:33 in the morning. Boom, it just starts coming out. And then I'm like, okay, why'd you wake me up? Then I'll start getting downloads as well. So you can be anywhere, anytime, any place, any space. And if it just starts coming out, allow it to flow. Don't hold it back. Even if you're out in public, let it flow. I would go, like I've said before, I've gone to the grocery store or whatever with my daughter and my son, and all of a sudden the light language starts coming out. It's because I'm passing someone in the store who actually asked for activation through a soul level. And so I'll just start speaking it and they receive it. And sometimes it embarrasses my kids, but I don't hold it back because I know that's the right thing to do when my heart's expanded. And I've been shown through all this time that I've been doing this, and the guides are saying, this person has a soul contract to be at this place at this time, everything's already planned, speak it. At first I used to hold it back, but after they told me that, I'm like, okay, and I just let it flow. So let it flow.
Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. Yes, let it flow. Okay, here's a comment as well that I want to share. This is from Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Says, I've been using light language for years and I find it's particularly effective if I'm struggling to do something either physically or mentally. I start talking to myself in light language and it's like a light switch is flipped and I can achieve what I was trying to do with remarkable ease and grace. That's interesting. Okay. What do you have to say about that? That just centers us, doesn't it?
That's exactly what it's doing. It's pulling you back into center, because when you get too far out of center and you're in the mental mind and you're thinking too much, you're not balanced in the masculine and feminine. As soon as you start speaking that light language, that's your higher self actually taking over. It pulls you right back into center and everything starts to flow again. So if we're not centered, you don't allow the flow. And that's not just allow the flow of light language, but of all things that you're here to receive, to be, and to know.
Yes. Okay. Very, very interesting. I love that it is the higher self speaking to you. It really is the language. We could say well, you've said it's the language of the soul, right? It's the language of the soul and from so many different lives.
Yes, what they told me when I first started speaking, I said, "What am I speaking?" And they said, "It's the language of love. It's the language of the soul. It is the language of God." That's what they told me.
It is the language of God. And so we can see that I know this has come up in our past conversation about speaking in tongues, where that has been taken and maybe hijacked by the old paradigm and shoved away, and something seemed wrong with that. But that's really what this is, right? And yeah, when we're connected, it comes forth.
I believe I haven't ever gone to. I know that the speaking in tongues is referred to in certain churches and establishments like that. So I haven't heard anybody that has referred to it as speaking in tongues that do that. But for me, if it's coming through and it sounds the same, it's coming from the heart. If it's here to lead people spiritually, and through a heart activation, it most likely is definitely light language. And I would think that the people that are speaking it in those establishments are definitely connected to their heart and helping people with their process.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for this episode today and the activation. As we close, we're going to have you come back and do a nice little tune up for us, for those who join us late, and then just to leave us in a very high space. But I want to have you share about your special offering. We've got a bundle of your webinars that are recorded, and these assist people in the information that you're bringing forward on this entire ascension path. You spoke of the Divine Avatar webinar, that training. Can you share about the second one that you have for us?
The second one is remembering your roots. That one came through um, for the second Stargate that opened, the second eclipse this past month. And what I was seeing was the activation of the ancient wisdom of the divine grandmothers. And I actually I've been working with these old crystals, and they took me to places inside Gaia. I was working with Gaia. They took me all over places. I went inside Uluru's rock, where I spoke with these Pleiadian star mothers, and there was a grandmother in there that she held my hands and she transferred some stuff, and she told me, one of the things that I am, which I don't reveal it, but she gave me this knowledge and these codes to activate this ancient wisdom. And this is the divine feminine. This is part of the divine feminine return, the mother energy, but it's the grandmother energy this time. And it's for all persons. It's not just for women. It's for men as well, because they as well, have been women. So it's very powerful. And it's remember your roots. It takes you back to your roots here on the planet and takes you to your roots off the planet. So it's full of light language activations, and there's meditation to go into it. And I can't remember what else, but
Excellent. All right. Thank you for that. That is all detailed on our special offer page, and that is available for everyone. And what I love about this is that This is a really affordable way for people to work with you and to receive your knowledge, and you to share your knowledge to them. And you're a great master for that, and a beautiful way shower for those who are really on this path. And we know that those who are watching this, we are all in our own different spaces, but what a beautiful assistance for all of us to just move even more deeper into the heart, in connection with our higher self. That is new earth, and how we build new earth, as the old earth is certainly crumbling around us, but yet it is so promising. And so how beautiful to raise our vibration and keep it held with our focus and our love in this, being the calm in the storm, and this dismantling of that old paradigm. So that is available on this webpage. Scroll down and you can see that special offer for Keleena. I also want to share that we are having an after party on Zoom. We're doing this broadcast on Zoom. Kaleena's going to hang out with us. This is for anybody who purchases her special offer. You will get a link to the Zoom after party, where we hang out and we ask questions, we share comments, and we laugh, and we get together with like minded people. You can also buy just a single event ticket, or you can join us every month, and join us in our membership for that. Keleena, thank you for that special offer and for those teachings for our beautiful audience. As we say goodbye, it would be beautiful. I know, I know we can't really call on specific light language, but it feels like the fairies want to talk to us.
They can yeah, I can bring them through. Definitely. I think there's also one more offer out there we didn't mention too. So
Oh, yes, go ahead and do that. I think our page will update, but there, did you have a session? Are you offering a session?
yeah, personal
Okay, a personal session. So, what happens in the personal session?
personal session. Those are amazing. I actually receive a psychic information first of stuff that you're holding in your force field, and then I go from there, and I know exactly to help you remove things, to clear things, to do your inner. I'm doing the inner work with you, and it helps line up what healing you need, and then what light language activations you need to move you forward in your process, because it's specific just for you.
Specific just for you. Personal time with Keleena in a one-on-one session. She is really popular. She's booking out, but that's okay. She's opening up space for us. So be very patient as you wait for this. But what a beautiful offering. And we thank you for that personal time for everyone, Keleena. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, we are going to wrap up, and we have a beautiful message.
Okay, let's see what these elementals want to bring. Kia sukura sate shisikiamba udakata. Ikinaka po uka. Tetsaka to tosha sinakadan to po nanania. A coca 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 coca. Siki kira ka coca 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 sinia na 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 na. Mokoki ara kiaka kara krosu to kara to. Mosu to. Upoka. Nyama na 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 no kota socia. Nyama. Tanto si toshu ma aka. Tada, teka. They're like really high.
I know. See, I just want to giggle right there. So that's really playful and loving. Well, I think our audience has been activated to speak light language, and I thank everyone for listening and joining in. And let's be bold and learn to speak your higher self. Activate these codes within yourself. As Keleena said, we can sing this, we can speak it daily. Oh, that's so important. It brings us back to center. And the witnesses who sing it for their patients and see how it changes the monitors of people's blood pressure and heart rate. That right there is so cool. And I got chills right now just feeling into the beautiful New Earth expression. Can you see everyone on New Earth speaking in this way? On some of our events, we've had people share their light language, and it is so cool and it is so amazing. It's really heart centered. That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Keleena, thank you so much for being here and activating us in this very special heart way. Thank you.
Happily.
And thank you everyone for joining us. We're going to stay on Zoom and you can register for Kaleena's special offer or a single event ticket and join us here for our after party. Thank you everyone. We say namaste and blessings. Thank you for joining us. We'll dance our way right now to the cosmic heart. Namaste. Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.